Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a different type of video for you guys. I'm actually just sitting in my bed chilling. I'm going to do a story time for you guys, and I haven't done one of these in a while, about my grandmother and the experience I had with her and her passing away. She actually passed away 4 years ago on yesterday's date. Yesterday was December 19th. I'm sorry, December 20th. I'm sorry. See my mind. I just got off work, y'all. Forgive me. Yesterday was December 18th, and she passed away on December 18th of 2013. And it's just so crazy to think about, and just knowing that she's not here on this earth anymore. It's just really sad. But I wanted to share with you guys this story because I always wanted to tell this story, and I've told it to like some of my friends and close, like coworkers and stuff, but I never told anybody else. So I decided to share with you guys. And so if you want to know about my grandmother and the experience I had after she died, of course, just keep on watching. So just a little backstory. My grandma, when she passed away, she was 57 years old, I believe, super young. Me and my grandma were really, really close. We used to live in the same like apartment complex when I was a kid, and I loved that because I would always go to her house and just go sleep over at her house and stuff like that. We were all really a close family. And then of course, as we got older, we kind of just, what I realized is when you get older, you kind of take advantage of the fact that you have your grandparents, and you just kind of get so involved in your life and being a teenager. So I really do regret not calling her and answering my phone when she would call, because I was too busy. Because that you really want to cherish the time that you have with your grandparents, because they're not going to be here forever. So that's one thing that I do regret. But this little backstory on my grandma: she was diagnosed with MS, which, if you don't know what that is sclerosis, multiple sclerosis, I believe. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but I don't know when she was diagnosed, but she was really young. So all my life I knew my grandma was sick. She was sick, and had different issues. I don't know too much, and of course I'm not going to go into too much detail. MS affects your nerve system. I don't know very much about it at all, but I do know that it affects the nerve system. So she has been sick my entire life, and so I never thought that she would die from her illness. But I remember when I was around 10, and of course younger than that. She was fine. She would still take me. She was still working, and we would go. Sometimes I would go to her job. We'd go to the swap meet together. If you don't know what a swap meet is, it's like the best thing ever. There's like super cheap prices on shoes and clothes and all that stuff. And I'm from California, by the way, so we would go to the swap meet together. And yeah, we would go just different places. And then I remember, as I started getting a little bit older, she wasn't able to like walk as good anymore, so then she started needing to use a walker. And then she got in a wheelchair. So I remember like her being able to cook and stuff for us, but she would like cook sitting down, but she was still able to do things with the family and be involved with the family and things like that. And she was still able to get up and do her hair and do her makeup. You guys, my grandma was like a beauty guru for real. She would do her hair every day. She would get up and curl it. She had a vanity, and it was filled with like Avon perfumes and lotions and makeup. So she is really the reason that I am in love with makeup and beauty stuff in general, because she would always let me come over and play in her goodies, and she would let me take stuff home. And she always told me that a woman is supposed to smell good, and she always kept us, giving us little tips and tricks and stuff like that. And I just remember Avon. She was an Avon salesperson, I believe. She was just all into that kind of stuff. And that's like one of the good memories I have, is just seeing her being able to get up and do her hair every day. She always makes sure she looked nice, and I just love that about her. So but after a while, of course, she was bedridden. It got to the point too where she could not walk any longer. She could not cook. She could barely pick up a cup herself. She was able to do that and, you know, use her hands, but the disease began to cripple her hands and, of course, her feet and everything like that. So she was bedridden from, I don't know exact dates, but she was bedridden for a long time once I became like a preteen, and then up until I moved. I did move to Arkansas when I was 15, and when I moved, she was, of course, bedridden and needed a nurse and all that stuff. So fast forward, I am 19, well actually I am 22 years old, I believe. Years go by, I moved to Arkansas, years go by, I talked to her on the phone. I don't see her for 8 years. 2006 is when I moved from Cali, and I went and saw her when my daughter, I actually had my daughter in 2011, and my daughter was 8 months when I finally seen her. So I moved in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. So I seen my grandmother 5 years after I moved, and you know, I was super happy to see her. She was still sick, of course, still bedridden. She could not get out the bed. It was Thanksgiving. We went to see my family, and of course we would all just hang out in the room with her. So I'm really glad that she got to meet my first baby. Of course, she was not able to meet my other children, which is really sad. So that was the last time that I seen her. So that's when I had my daughter. Then I got pregnant with my son in 2013. My due date was December 21st, 2013. She had begun to get really sick that year. And about, let me see, December. So I'll say in about July. July is when my mom, I'm just estimating. So August, September, October, November, December. Around August, September, I want to say, is when she got really sick. I think she was on hospice, and like I said, I don't know for sure like dates and everything, because I was just so involved in my own life and being pregnant and having a baby already and being pregnant and having to go to doctor's appointments and stuff. So I was not able to like fly out and see her and stuff like my sister and my mom were able to. My sister and my mom actually went and stayed with her for 2 months with my grandfather. So I did not get to go and do all that stuff. But yeah, so she got sick, and they gave her, to make a long story short, they gave her 6 months to live, I believe. And my grandmother passed away in 3 of those months. So I was due on December 21st, 2013. And my mom, you know, I knew she was sick and she was not doing good, and so all of my family went to see her. Of course, I did not, and she ended up passing away on December 18th of 2013, and I was pregnant. It was just really sad and hard to like just grab the fact that she passed away. I just never really thought that she would have passed away from the illness, because she had been sick my whole life. So, you know, me just thinking, oh, she'll be fine, like it's not that big of a deal. The last thing I remember us talking about, we really didn't have a full conversation because her mind wasn't really there. So I remember she called, or my mom called, and I talked to her, and she was like, when you having that baby, you know, she was like, when you gonna have that baby? And she was just rambling on, you know, and I kind of just rushed off the phone because I'm like, she's not in the right headspace. Like, you know, I was being very just like nonchalant about even talking to her. So yeah, she passed away, and it was, I kind of just tried to act like I was okay, you know, like I didn't want to cry about it. So I didn't cry in front of anyone. You know, when my mom told me, she actually called me and told me that she passed away. No, well, she called me, and I was actually taking a nap. With me, my husband, and my daughter were taking a nap, and my mom called me, and I did not answer. So she texted me, and she was like, Jazz, grandma's gone, da 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 da. And I laid there crying, you know. But then for like the next couple weeks, I just held in my tears because I didn't want to seem, I don't know, I just didn't want to cry in front of my husband and stuff. So one day I just broke down in front of him, and it was just like a whole big mess. So fast forward, I ended up not having my son on December 21st. I ended up having to be induced on Christmas Eve of 2013, December 24th, 2013. So I went into I was scheduled to be in. This is a part of the story that is just so amazing to me, and I love telling this story. So I went into labor. I was scheduled to be induced on December 24th, 2013. The morning of that day, I actually was already in labor and I did not know it. TMI, but I was constipated really, really bad. So that was holding up my labor progress. So the night before, December 23rd, my OB gave me a laxative to let everything flow before I got to the hospital. And so that happened. I took the laxative and then everything just came out. And then I went into labor naturally on my own. So when I got to the hospital, I was already in labor and I was 3 centimeters dilated. Didn't even know it. Didn't feel any pain, so I didn't even get induced right away. So I sat there all day having these contractions. I did not feel them. I did not know I was having contractions. I was so comfortable just laying there, and also knowing what to expect because I had a child already. I kind of just in my mind already prepared myself for the pain, so I was able to handle it a lot better. But it was to the point to where I didn't even notice that I was having contractions. So the doctor would be coming, my nurse at the nurse in the hospital would be come to check on me, and she was like, "You don't feel those? Are you doing okay? Are you feeling those?" And I would just be like, "No, I'm fine." And they would look at the chart, the machine that shows like each contraction on the scale. She was like, "Wow, are you sure do you have a really high pain tolerance?" And I was just like, no, I don't do pain very well, but I'm fine. I don't feel anything. So I was having contractions all day, you guys. And of course my stomach was tight, but that was manageable. I just laid there really calm, cool, and collected. You wouldn't have even known that I was in labor. So time goes on. I'm still having these contractions. I'm still progressing through my labor. My cervix is dilating, and I get to 7 centimeters, 8 centimeters, you guys, and I don't feel any pain. Like, I'm just amazed and I'm really confused. I'm telling them, I don't feel any pain. Like, this is weird, because with my daughter I needed an epidural. I got it at 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters, because I was like in pain. And my heart's beating fast just talking about this. I didn't have any medicine on, but I'm getting scared because I'm 8 centimeters, you guys. And my mom and everybody's like, "Are you okay? Like, what are you just?" She's like, "Wow, my mom was like, Jazz, you're really handling these contractions." Because even my husband, because the papers, I was having big, like, badass contractions, and I was not feeling them. So at 8 centimeters, I was just kind of nervous because I'm like, I don't want to push without having the epidural. Like, there's no way I'm pushing this baby out without an epidural, and I'm not waiting till the last minute. So finally at 8 centimeters, I decided, just go ahead and give me the epidural, just because, the pain might come out of nowhere. So I did get the epidural, and ended up, as I was laying, so different moments of me laying in the hospital bed, I'm trying not to cry because this is just like crazy. Like I told you guys, my grandmother was bedridden, so she would lay in the bed all the time. And I remember I would help her, like, put on her socks and stuff like that. And yeah, so I just remember laying in the bed, and I don't know why I'm getting emotional. This is so weird. I just remember laying in the bed, in the hospital bed, and I would see her body in the bed. It was me, obviously, laying in the bed, but it was her body that I would see. And so she, came, and she took away all the pain that I would have felt from being in labor. It was her body laying there. She was taking away all the pain so that I wouldn't feel any pain from, like, the contractions and stuff. And so I would see her feet, or her, like, I was laying there, and of course I had the epidural, so I was like a bit, drowsy and stuff. So, ooh, I'm messing up my makeup. So, like, different moments I would, like, turn over or something like that. I would see her hands. So it was her hands. Like, I would go to reach for something and it was her hand. I would see her hand. But the main thing is I would see her feet. Like, my legs were her legs. So I knew that it was her. Like, it's like I knew it was her body laying there, taking away the pain from me so that I wouldn't feel any pain. And like, some points after, you know, I had my son and stuff, I would still feel her body. Like, it was her body. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was her. And I'm trying not to cry because I don't want this to be like a sad video. I would be like in a daze, and then but it was her. So when I would like snap out of it, and I would be so confused because I'm like, you know, because I knew it was her. So it was just crazy. And I just am so thankful that she came back to me in that way, because we were really close. And I'm just glad that she was, you know, the one to take away the pain from me being in labor. So I was literally in labor all day. I did not feel one contraction, and I had pushed him out and everything was fine, you know. And it's just like so amazing that was even possible. And I don't know, it's sad that, you know, that she's not here anymore, and that I can't see her and I can't call her. You know, my mom, I know she's like missing her because they were really close. I'm sad that, you know, she can't meet my kids and stuff like that. It's just really sad. And I just wish that, you know, I would have, you know, cherished like her being here like more, because I really took advantage of the fact that, oh, you know, my grandma, she's alive. You know, even with my next pregnancy, when I had my daughter, my youngest, Aaliyah, I had her in 2015. Even with that pregnancy, she came back to me. I'm like, you want to take away all this pain? Like, you want to take away the labor pains? I'm here for it. Look at my neck. I have like hives. I'm like, I'm breaking out in hives right now. I'm just really thankful that happened. And I haven't seen her. She hasn't came back to me since, you know, having my kids or whatever. I remember sometimes there's some days where I go to reach for something and I see my grandma's hand, and me and my grandma are the same color, but I know her hands. And I remember one day I went to turn off the light and it was her hand, and I was like, whoa, you know, like it scared me. But I miss her. I wish she was still here. But I just wanted to share that story with you guys because it was just amazing. And yeah, that's what happened. That's how my grandmother came back to me after she passed away. And guys, let me know if you have had any similar experiences. Leave me some comments down below. Share this video, like and subscribe. Hit the little bell down there so you don't miss out on any other videos from me. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.